Howdy y'all, Moglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. I left off here last episode, so I guess we'll just pick up right here. Oh, dude. I've got like no hit points. Who let me pick up right here? Whose idea was this? It was a bad idea. Make sure nothing else is... What are you doing? Are you going to break down that door or what? Bad zombie. Yeah, it's been a long time fighting zombies today. uh, my Monday, Thursday streaming gaming group. We're playing Dying Light co-op right now. There's 3 of us, and we are working our way through that game on Mondays. And didn't this used to have a... Yeah, it's still here. Pretty fun game. I'm enjoying it. I do wish the weapons were a little more oomphy, I guess. Um, the ooh, this guy's fast. The nope, he's not so fast now. Oh, I thought I heard a zombie in there. Oh, you're up there. The weapons feel a little sluggish. Not, yeah, they're a little sluggish in that game, and it's not so bad when you've got like guns, but they've got a sound map. Oh, look at that! I've never seen this before. What's a college jacket? Not that you can tell, because I'm wearing. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. Was I not wearing a T-shirt? Oh, I am. That just went on there as well. Okay, well, I don't want to wear a college jacket. I do, however, want to get in this safe. And I don't know, it seems like even though the zombies themselves aren't necessarily getting more powerful, I mean, they are powerful, but, you know, the zombies, it's kind of like on here, right? You know, you run into bigger zombies, but they don't really seem to increase in attack damage or anything. And so it's kind of weird that the weapons don't do more. Like, um, oh, we got ourselves a. And so that one's got like dismemberment and stuff. And so like I get I've got this katana I just got today, and it's not my first bladed weapon, and so I had a knife. I didn't like that. I have a sledgehammer. I don't really like that. I had the knife and then the sledgehammer. I tried a sickle that didn't do anything. Um, and the crazy thing to me is that like I had a man, I wish I had some water. I had a the food place is right there. Um, I can't think. Oh, I had a machete, right? So machete's a pretty good blade, and I had we just completed a quest that got us a weapon upgrade that you can make, and so my machete now has electricity and fire on it, and it does like 329 damage or something like that. So with the gun I have is like 247 damage, so it's a lot less than the machete. And but with the gun, I can shoot most zombies once in the head and they'll die. Or like I have a bow that I think does like 190 damage, and if I shoot them in the head with that, they die. But I can hit a zombie like 7 times in the head with a bladed weapon, and they just keep coming. And like I don't know, like I feel like it should be slicing things off, and it doesn't. And so I'm a little disappointed with the melee weapons in that game. And then like they've got like the power up. You hold down the button and it does the power attack, or like I've got with big heavy bashing melee weapons. If I hold it down long enough, I can do like a Zelda spin around attack. And man, you'd think that if you can land a heavy attack, that it would do something, but I get better results from light attacks than I do from my heavy attacks. And then on top of that, they got this. I don't like it. They got this um, scripted bite attack from the zombies, and um, and it's annoying because they will uh, they will um, they'll attack you, and you're trying to hit him with your melee weapon, right? And and you'll be mid swing, but it'll trigger the script, and so your guy will stop swinging, and then the zombie will bite him, and then you got to mash the button on your keyboard to push the zombie away. I'm like, but I was mid swing. Why wouldn't my guy finish swinging at this zombie who wasn't close enough to activate? He wasn't close enough to activate the interesting. I already have a better hunting knife than that. But we'll give this club a try. I know I've been down on the club, but we'll give it another go. There's been a couple of updates, so maybe they fixed the range. I can't even swing it. Okay. No, no. Seriously, the range is so much shorter than these. I can't fight because I've got no water. I was kind of hoping I'd kill her before she killed me. But that really sucks that the club is like useless now. I don't understand why there's such a difference in the range between where it used to be and where it is now, because it's ridiculous that I have so much more range on my fists. Uh, uh, is that where I was at? That doesn't look like where I was at. Where was I at? It wasn't there. It was here. That's where I was at. And but yeah, I don't really like the weapon system as much in um, Dying Light. It's just too. It's not great. I don't understand their melee system at all. It's just terrible in that game. And well, not terrible, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it should to me. Don't even equip that thing. We're just gonna scrap that. I don't want it. I don't want this either. I don't like that either. Just go away. You'd be better off to me as iron. Maybe later when I got some points into stuff. Oop, oop. I really don't understand the club thing that they've got going on here now because, in my mind, if you're going to swing a club, you're going to swing the club. Even if it's an overhand swing, you're still going to swing that thing, right? It's going to have follow through. Um, and they currently have it like you're stabbing overhand with a knife, like Psycho or something, right? And that's just not the way a club should feel. And I don't know who thought that was the way it should be, but I don't like it. I don't like it. And I really do feel like the range is wrong. I don't know. I don't know why the range is so short on the club. Like, why would I ever want to use a club? I honestly am liking these knuckles because they have such a better reach, and they're pretty fast, and they got good stagger built into them. I mean, yes, I do have points into. Um, I do have points into my knuckles that I do not have into clubs, but that's because the range on the club is so short. All right, well that was an amazing loot out of this place. I looted this place already. That right? That's why I've got all that blood. Yeah. All right. Well, we should sneak around and get out of here, and I guess we can go up over here. Boop. We did the radio place, so I guess we'll move down this way. Oh, right, the sham or the food factory. We looked at that. I didn't go inside, but I looked at it a little bit. So let's go over here. We'll try the fast food restaurant, I guess. No D&D this week. From what is that? Oh, sledgehammer parts. Um, oh man, I'll tell you what. So we're it must have been Wednesday. We normally have D&D, and we skipped this week because the guy's out of town. Not my DM, but the other guy we play with. And so, I mean, we're not gonna play without him. Uh, and we finished our campaign last week, so this week we need to start a new campaign. You're definitely not gonna skip the start of a campaign. That would really, if I was that guy, I'd be mad if I got skipped at the start of a new campaign. So we just skipped this week, and so somewhere in there, our DM looking at videos of D&D, sends me a link to a video where so we did a campaign a while ago called The Lost Mines of Phandelver, and the Lost Mines are. Do you get? Yeah, I should definitely get some leather off these guys in case I need it later. And so the Lost Mines are part of one of the starter kits for D&D, which gives you like dice and a adventure and some pre-made characters and um, limited instructions on how to play the game. Because the starter kit does not come with the player's handbook, which is the big book on how to play the game as a player. It comes with the starter rules, which are which is enough to play the game, but not necessarily enough to it's play the make your own. I mean, you could definitely make your own campaign up and use those rules, but it's got very limited like classes and races and spell selections, uh, and and so uh, now we have all the books, or I have all the books, and then we share them. Uh, Although my DM he has been purchasing the adventures, but only because he won't run it on the system that we're all familiar with. He wants to run it on his own thing. I think it would be pretty easy to run. No, let me rephrase that. I know it's very easy to run a D&D game in Discord because I've run several, and so we initially were going to run it that way, and then he decided that he wanted to use. Oh crap! He wanted to use. Whoa! Why are you all twitching all over the place, man? He wanted to use this program called Roll20. Whew, see that? Man, that was awesome. I just basically boxed that guy, and he only hit me like once. Because Roll20, and this is why I don't understand the I don't have time to prep for tonight's game. Roll20 has the adventure and maps and bad guys and all of that basically set up for you, and so you just start that module and show your players the bits they need to see as you play your way through, and so he decided he wanted to go with that. Not eating cat food. Instead of using the adventure that I had already purchased. That's weird. And so he did buy his own copy on their website of the adventure that I had already purchased because it's already set up for you. Now, I have nothing against him doing that. He wants to pay for that. That's all good. And, oh man, dang it. And so, but it's weird to me. It's weird to me that he wouldn't even give the other way a go. This has got nothing to do with what I was going to tell you. I've gone off on a huge tangent. But I have to tell this story because it cracks me up. So, oh, we got a drop. Uh, I'm gonna get this drop instead of going back into that place, and then I'm gonna go home because I'm encumbered. And so we're starting at the point where we're gonna start playing, and I've already purchased the books. They have a website, D&D Beyond, which is an official digital tool set from a company that works with the company that produces D&D Beyond, right? So it's not the Wizards of the Coast website, but it's an official tool set of the Wizards of the Coast website done by another company. I don't understand why Wizards of the Coast doesn't own it, but they don't. And so you can purchase digital copies of the books on this website, and but the site goes above and beyond that, and so they've got like character builder built in, and they just added like encounter builder and searchable spells and searchable, this and that, and there's links inside the documents, and so like you're reading about a spell, and it's like, uh, if you cast this spell, it places the paralyzed uh, debuff on the bad guy, and well, the paralyzed is got actual rules to it. So you click on the word paralyzed in that sentence, and it pops up the paralyzed box of text that tells you what that does, and cool stuff like that. Or it'll link, out from one thing to like a monster stat blocks or anything like that. Um, and so I already purchased that, so all he has to do is basically right click or snip pictures out of those books and paste them to our Discord, so that we can see what he's talking about. And then I had been playing around with setting up a game in Discord, and I was using a program called Dice Parser that allows you to roll in Discord like you're rolling dice. You don't roll an actual dice; you just type in a command. Asterisk D20 would roll a D20. And so he gets looking into that, and he finds something totally different. And I'm like, well, the one I'm using works really well. And he's like, no, no, this other one, it does all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And so then he sits down to figure it out, and it's complicated. And so he just this last week finally switched over to Dice Parser because he never figured out how to use the other one. I wasn't going to do it because we weren't actually using it, but you had to type out the word roll every time you try to roll the dice. Asterisk roll, space, and then the dice you want to roll. And then on top of that, the dice parser has really simple commands, and you can do stuff like roll multiple. Nice, nice. That was a good. That was a good drop for me. Although I am gonna be so slow getting home, and fist fight zombies drunk, and so it's funny to me that he buys this other digital copy of the same thing I already purchased and he has access to, because I just assume he doesn't want to use anything that I have purchased. Not because he's like, oh, I don't take charity from other people, just that I suggested it, and so because I suggested it, he refuses to use it. It's pretty common for him. But it drives me crazy sometimes. Anyways, so let's see if I can finish this story. So he's out looking at videos. Nothing to do with getting ready for next week's new game. We got new characters rolled up last week for the new game. Nothing looking into getting that prepared. Not setting up the maps we're gonna need. None of that. He's just out looking at videos, And so he sends me a link to a D&D video. He's like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "No." And so what has happened is, like I said, the Lost Mines of Phandelver is the starter kit game, which means you start at level 1, you don't know what you're doing, and we played through it. It was the first one we did, and not that I was new to D&D at that point, or even this version of D&D, because we'd been playing in another game for probably half a year before we started this Lost Mines of Phandelver, so we were pretty familiar with the game at this point. And but we decided to do the starter kit because it looked like a fun little adventure. And and so we've played through it. We've played through Lost Mines. My family is slowly. It was a little faster at one point, but now it's probably at its end, and they're not going to finish. They were playing through it, and so I was DMing that. So I've been through most of Lost Mines of Phandelver twice now. And so he is watching videos on. Man, there's a lot of zombies trying to get me here. Uh, he's watching videos on YouTube, and he sends me this link to people who decided to play through Lost Mines of Phandelver, not with new characters, but with new characters, but with level 20 characters. Now, the game is designed for level 1 through level 5 characters. So when you get to the end of the game, you should be level 5. There's a giant difference between level 5 even and level 20 because D&D is not a game where like you play a video game, right? You go up a level, like on here, you get a skill point, you add your skill point, you get a little more powerful. No, going up a level in D&D can make the biggest differences. For example, a fighter at level 4, when he attacks, makes one attack. A fighter at level 5, one level, makes two attacks. So he basically takes two turns compared to what he used to do, and so there's big jumps like that all over the place in the game, and so uh, they uh, well, spells for example, right? So like at level 1, you might have a spell that does 1d10 damage, one 10-sided dice roll for damage, and then at level 3 you get a spell that does 5d8 damage. Like that's a huge jump up, and so it's stuff like that. So the difference between like level 1 and level 20 is massive. I mean, we're talking like spells that do hundreds of points of damage, fighters that take like 4 to 12 attacks per turn, depending on what they're doing. Uh, you know, um, it's a big difference, and so they decided to do a quote speed run of the game and go through it with level 20 characters, and it was interesting, but it wasn't exciting to me, and so my DM he sends me a message yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, you wanna do that level 20 thing with Lost Mines?" And I'm like, I'd rather start the new campaign than go back through something we've already done. I mean, it hasn't been that long, and being a level 20 character in a level 1 campaign does not appeal to me. Uh, you know. And so apparently he was disappointed by that answer. And so he asked the other guy we play with, and that guy said that he would be interested in doing it. I'm thinking, what are you, a 4-year-old? Why'd you even ask me if you didn't care what my answer was? Okay. Now, I need to do... Why does water not show up at the top of this list? Water doesn't even show up on this list. Bottled water. There we go. Or maybe it did and I was just blind. Alright, you cook that water. And why don't you go ahead and cook up that egg. Did I get up some cornbread here? I should go ahead and cook up that as well. You're not getting my... You're not getting my potato. I'm going to need that. Okay, I really need to start over here and put things in here that I already have some of. I do have a lot of raw meat. Oh, I don't need these anymore. But, yeah, it's, oh yeah, my weird chair. I don't know, it's crazy to me how he thinks sometimes. And, I couldn't believe that I'm like, he asked me if I wanted to do it. I said no, and so then he went and asked the other guy if he wanted to do it. He's like, well, the other guy said he wants to do it now, so I'm like, fine, fine. He's like, oh no, we don't have to. Then why did you ask the other guy? You're not gonna guilt me into wanting to play this. I don't want to do it. It doesn't appeal to me. All right, well, so yeah, so next week we should get some D&D. My D&D game, we actually got a little bit farther. They alarms went off, I think, when I talked about this last episode, and so they went racing down the stairs and they found a dead body left by the assassin, and they've been poking and prodding it the last couple of days, trying to figure out what's going on with this dead body. Basically, the assassin stole this guy's key card and killed him, and they don't know that he's missing his key card because they haven't looked for that yet. And I'm not expecting them to go, is he missing something, or you know, do I notice that something's missing? No, I just need them to go, we want to investigate the body, and they haven't done that yet. All they've done is checked it to see if he's still alive and if they can figure out what caused his death, which they did. His throat was sliced. Um, but yeah. All right. With that, click like if you like, subscribe if you can catch the next one. We'll talk to you later.